The number 14 Utah Utes, who are favored by 8 points against Washington State at 9 p.m. It's going to be a late game, so make sure to stay up and watch it. I mean, if there's football on, why not throw some money on it? Teats, what's your breakdown for this game?
Man, this is going to be an interesting one, honestly. From what I saw, the Utes are 4-3 against the spread this season so far, but they're 4-0 when they're favored by 8.5. Where the Cougars, they're 4-3 also against the spread this season, but that Utah defense is just insane. I think that I'm gonna go with the Utah minus 8.5 here.
All right. Hey, I like that. I'm staying away from a side just because I like Utah, but I feel like it should be more than 8.5. So something doesn't smell right here. So I'm going to stay away from that. But I am going to go with the over 55.5. If you look at it, the over is 7-0 in the Utah's last 7 games in October, and it's also 5-0 in the last 5 games versus a team with a winning record. So needless to say, Utah, if they're playing a good team, they like to score points. They put up 43 against USC last week or 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago.
And I mean, Washington, to cover that 55, they just have to score 21, in my opinion, because I think Utah's going to get to 30. And the Utah defense has given up 42, like I said, 2 weeks ago, and 32 points the week before that. So the Utah defense was good early on, but they have been vulnerable the last 2 games out. So I'm going to go with over 55.5. Bear, what about you?
Utah used to be my go-to bet. They're
I know.
Straight up the last 2 games. They've played really tough competition. UCLA and USC, both those games were close, tough, hard fought. 0-2 against the spread last 2 games. I don't love the -8 for Utah, so I'm going to go with Wazoo +8 at home. It's now the biggest game of the year for them after they lost to Oregon. Everybody thought they had that game won against Oregon up. I think it was 13 with 2 minutes left, and they almost blew the cover. So I think Wazoo just does enough here to cover the 8 at home again. So I think they can do it +8.
And if there's a team to do it, it'll be Washington State. We've seen it year in, year out.
I think the over is also a very good play because I think both these teams can score 30.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying. I like the over. I like Washington State. They were really competitive early on in the season, and they've kind of fallen back the last couple games out. But they're going to get up for this game, especially since it's the night game, big game against Utah, who's ranked pretty high. So it looks like Jesse had the Washington State Cougars +8.5.
I'm going to sprinkle the money line as well, Trey. This is the biggest game. This is the biggest game for Wazoo left on the season. I think they can pull it off. I'm going to take Wazoo money line, a little sprinkle.
I like it. I like that sprinkle.
Okay.
And then Teats, you had Utah -8.5, and I had the over 55.5.